Hey guys, all right, so today we want to talk a little bit about, in general, just CrossFit.
Yeah.
So we want to talk about what you can actually expect when you come into a CrossFit box, or maybe in layman's terms, what CrossFit is.
Yeah.
So you want to kick it off?
Absolutely. So guys, really, like Jay said, we want to walk through, like maybe you've never done CrossFit before, or you've only had one or two experiences. The first thing I want to highlight with CrossFit, and just so you know what to expect, is that CrossFit is not a franchise.
No.
And so what the biggest difference that means is that when you go to an Orange Theory, whether you're in Indianapolis or you're in
Chicago.
or Florida or anywhere else,
Houston.
you're going to have a very similar looking facility with a very similar workout program,
Right.
and you can know what to expect. That has some real benefits. You know, if you have an Orange Theory fitness program here at home that you have a membership to, you can go into, I think you can go into any gym. Any gym, and so you're going to know what you get, which is awesome. CrossFit is a little bit different in the fact that all of us are affiliates, and what that means is that we independently own our businesses and are affiliated with CrossFit and can use the name and likeness to promote our business and talk about what we do. And some gyms will use the programming from the
HQ.
headquarters as well. The cool thing about that is that when you go into a gym in Chicago or Florida or St. Louis or anywhere else, you're going to get a very unique experience that is different from anywhere else.
Correct.
So really a give and a take there. But to start off with, what is CrossFit? What does that mean? To not use jargony language, what CrossFit is a workout program that uses a bunch of different movements to mimic everyday life, make you better at things like carrying in your groceries, picking up your kids, and that we do it at a relative intensity level that is hard for you. So whether you are a 65-year-old grandmother who should not be doing 315 pounds on a deadlift, or a 23-year-old just graduated former college athlete, there is the relative difficulty level that will put you at.
So these are like pushing and pulling movements, squatting and standing movements, pressing movements, things that you're going to do in everyday life. So functional movements, things that you're going to do in your the activities of daily living, if you will, your ADLs that you'll see when you go to the doctor, and they're like, well, how is your daily life? So that's getting up in the morning and brushing your teeth and walking down the stairs and walking back upstairs, things that you do. So we're improving that, so that way that all those activities of daily living become a little bit easier. So our goal in CrossFit is actually to increase your power. So go ahead.
So it's really like, I've heard it put well by a couple of leaders in the CrossFit community saying, like, what we want to do is help people kick ass into their 90s and push back the nursing home.
Okay.
And I think that's a good way to think about it. Be able to walk up and down stairs, live independently, have those things of what CrossFit is about. The other things I want to cover today is what you can expect as far as coaching, your actual facility itself, and some like specialty classes that some CrossFit gyms will offer. So again, because we're not a franchise, every gym's a little bit different on those specialty classes. They're a little bit different on their facility, and they're a little bit different on their coaching. So Jason, how about you kick us off with coaching?
Sure.
What kind of coaching should people expect when they walk into a CrossFit box?
Well, coaching, that's a varying degree,
Yeah.
but how do you know if you have a good coach? Well, a coach is going to explain something to you. First and foremost, they're going to demonstrate what you're actually doing. They're going to then, they're going to explain all the movement and the breakdown, but have you perform that, and then we're going to give you some feedback. So that's going to be important in terms of that those 4 points of performance there that we're looking for, because we want to make sure that you're doing exactly what we're asking, because we want to fix anything, because mechanics are so important for us, especially here at our box. Now that doesn't mean you're going to always get that. So I've heard other things where people just throw weight on the bar and the coach says, okay, great, just go ahead and pick it up, without even showing exactly what's happening. So we're going to make sure that we're showing you what you're doing, and then we're going to correct whatever movements that we see some issues with. So
yeah, I think the other question that I would have if I were not into it, like if I walk to a gym, how many athletes should be on the floor to every one coach? Or when your class gets to 20 and 30, should you have extra coaches on the floor? Or do you need just one? What's your perspective on that?
So we do here is a little bit different than a lot of other boxes. So for every 10 athletes that we have on the floor, we have one coach. Now that's a lot for a lot of some boxes. I've been to, when I travel a lot, I've been to well over 30 boxes when I used to travel a lot for work, and I would see some boxes that there was 20, 25 people on the floor with just one coach. Now that might work well, and that and there was one circumstance where I saw the coach did an amazing job, and they've trained that facility to train the coach quite well. But all in all, I don't see that. I mean, I've been in a facility when there was 25, 26 people in the class, and not once did I have the coach come around to me. Like I saw the coach at the beginning of class, and that was it.
And that's kind of the problem and the reason that we do it a little bit different is that if you have exceptional coaches, I've heard stories about like Sam Dancer is a very famous CrossFitter and apparently an exceptional coach. and he runs like 30-person classes from time to time.
Sure.
And apparently you feel very individualized inside of that space.
Great.
But it's very hard to have a coach at that level. And if you find one, stay at that box because they're awesome.
It's a diamond in the rough to see that.
Very hard. And so that's why we try to not put that pressure into our staff and into that environment where you should be feeling like when you're in a CrossFit gym, kind of to summarize the coaching section up, you should feel like you are getting semi-private training every day you walk in.
Yeah.
And if you don't, especially if you're one of our members watching this and you're feeling like I'm not getting enough attention in our gym, please come talk to us because that is our goal. That when you come in here, you're hearing your name at least 3 times through. You are hearing people talk to you, correct you. You are feeling like you are getting the attention that you need. That is the benefit of a semi-group private training session like what we run here.
Yep.
The next thing I want to cover is facilities. So CrossFit gyms look very different than every other type of gym that you're going to walk into. I would say probably the closest one would be like a personal training studio that doesn't affiliate with CrossFit but uses a lot of the similar movement patterns. Jason, what's the biggest difference between like LA Fitness or a big Globo gym and a CrossFit box?
Well, we don't have machines here, so we are the machine. We move the weight load around, so that's really the biggest difference. You're going to walk into and you're a global gym and you have what's known as non-functional fitness machines, whereas here we are moving a barbell around our body. We have dumbbells, we have kettlebells, we have other items here that are more functional fitness. So
100%. So yeah, like he said, when you walk into our space, you're going to see stuff all along the walls, much more than you're going to see anything on the floor. Now, if you're going to come into our gym and let's say that we're doing rowing and we're doing box jumps, those things will be moved out for you, so you're not spending the time actually moving the equipment that yourself. But hey, if you're getting plates out, you're getting dumbbells out, you're getting kettlebells out, you're moving all that weight yourself. It's coming out, it's going back in. Again, going back to functional movements, I don't remember the last time that I went to pick up my groceries out of my car and the machine lifted it right into my lap and then I just had to pick it up and carry it, like would be a bicep curl.
And people always ask, like, well, why are we doing dumbbell work versus barbell work? Well, not every day in life are you handed a shiny barbell that everything is nice and even. So we have to do movements that are considered odd movements.
Yeah, we call them odd object training. So things that are off balance, off center, strongman work. If you see people pick up like the big stone and throw it over their body, things like that. And then I think the third one, just to wrap up the video today, guys, so we've gone through coaching, we've gone through facilities, and then let's talk about specialty classes. So with CrossFit, if you are a CrossFit gym, there's really 3 what we call modalities or different types of movements that fall underneath buckets. You have cardiorespiratory, which we often call monostructural or just cardio. You have gymnastics movements, which is moving your body weight around an exterior object. So that's push-ups, pull-ups, air squats, sit-ups, box jumps, things like that. Exterior object, moving your body through space. Excuse me. And then finally, we have weightlifting movements. That is, like Jason was mentioning, odd objects, shiny barbell work, the things you might see inside of like a CrossFit video, or if you've watched the CrossFit games, you know, putting the barbell over the head, pulling it from the floor, things like that. On top of that, some CrossFit gyms will offer things like, we offer an endurance class. So if you think about back to those 3 components, we have the cardio piece. That endurance class is really meant to develop aerobic capacity. What that means is it helps you run longer and faster for a harder time, or row, or swim, or another piece that is typical cardiorespiratory movement. That is a specialty class. We also offer an Olympic weightlifting class. So that is to help you with weightlifting, teach you mechanics. When you first come in, you'll be on a PVC pipe, things like that. What other specialty classes have you seen?
Well, in terms of what we're offering here, we are getting ready to do what's known as a CrossFit All-Stars class. So we're excited for that. And this class is, it's for those that are mentally challenged, so with mental disabilities, and we're really excited to offer this. We're going to be the only box here in the state to actually have that.
Super proud of it. Jay brought the idea back from what is the gym?
It's at? Reebok CrossFit, Coastal Carolina. So
out in Hilton Head, right? Yeah, which is awesome. So if you guys are watching, shout out to you, and thank you for giving us some feedback and input on that. I know they've been helpful as we've been planning this as well.
Yeah, we've had an athlete with special needs here with Down syndrome, and she's been here for 2 years. So and the strides that she's made is just it's been incredible to watch. So, not only that, we've got, there's other classes that we offer. We have a very, for those who are not, and a lot of boxes have this, but like a CrossFit light class, if you will, let's just call it that. It's a nice class where, barbells are not used in the class. We use more just specifically just dumbbells and kettlebells, because sometimes barbells can be scary for some people.
They can be, and you have to have better mobility. I should say. Yeah, you have to have a lot better mobility, right, to use a barbell, and you have to move it with a lot more appropriate movement patterns. So, which is why we use it. People might say like, oh, well, you said that life doesn't have shiny barbells. Yeah, but it teaches you how to move appropriately, use your hips, use your shoulders as you should.
But there's some boxes will have a strongman class. We offer a actual class every few Saturdays for that. That's thrown in our program along with a partner WOD. We have these things that we kind of alternate, but there are some boxes that have that all the
strictly strongman class.
And we have a figure fit class here as well. So that's it's geared toward anyone, but we typically see a lot more ladies in that class. But it's upper body one day, lower body another day, and then it's cardio and core another day. So there's some specific training in that class. So
and then I think the other one I've seen at other gyms that we don't offer explicitly on our schedule here is like a pure competitors class.
Yes.
So there are some gyms in town here that are what I would call like games athlete boxes, and what those mean is that they have athletes that are trying to make the CrossFit Games as a general, like maybe like 10% of their population or something like that. So still small, but they've geared a class explicitly for that. So that would be one that I've seen. Trying to think what else. You know, like we offer nutrition coaching, but some people actually do like a class on that, like you know, which is a sometimes added cost, sometimes it's free. So yeah, boxes.
We do nutrition challenges.
We do nutrition challenges, and we do all the time nutrition programming.
Right.
It's just not like I've actually seen it on somebody's schedule like once or twice. So it's again, we are affiliates, not franchises. So as you're in your city, or maybe you're traveling around, or you're in Indianapolis trying to choose a box, you can look through and say like, oh, what are the specialty classes here that I see? What's on their schedule? What's inside of their program part on their website? What would be interesting for me to try in addition to my CrossFit? So yeah, it's just, I think that's a really good summary, guys. So you got, what is CrossFit again? It's really, at the end of the day, a bunch of different movements to make you better at life, at the intensity level appropriate for you. What kind of coaching should you expect? You should be feeling individualized inside of a group environment. And then what kind of facility are you looking for? Like, it shouldn't have a bunch of machines. You should be moving the weight yourself. That's what CrossFit is. We do free weights. That's what we really use. And then finally, that last piece there, what kind of specialty classes do you have available? It really runs the gamut, but find the ones that are interesting to you and maybe check out a box or two. I think I just leave it with this. If you go to a gym that doesn't at least let you get a tour and experience the environment before they make you sign up, I would be a little skeptical of what they're offering.
Sure.
It might be an amazing gym, and maybe they're just so popular that they're able to just say, nope, you got to pay before you walk in the door. But for us, we want people to choose our community.
We want you to experience our programming,
Yeah.
and that's we actually offer a free week, whereas some boxes only, it's one free class, which maybe that's all you need. But I want you to see how which we have our programming here in the background, but which we're finishing for next week. But we want you to experience what our programming is like here and how we actually program. So.
That's the biggest thing is you are buying coaching, you are buying programming, and you are buying access to the facility. Yep. So we, a little bit different than the rest of the people in our space, want you to experience a full-on week so you can get the gamut of what are the classes, how do they run, who are the people, how does the program feel. So
yeah, and if you have questions for us, feel free to put in that comment section down below the video. And sitting here, we're on 12 minutes in the video, and I just realized how good looking that I am in this video. so
I think I'm still sweating from the latest workout.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning into this little session.
What is CrossFit session?
Yeah. So and we'll come to you next week with another topic. All right. Have a good one. Take care.